Breaking news out of Minneapolis this morning. A Border Patrol agent shot and killed a 37-year-old ICU nurse on the streets of South Minneapolis, and the video evidence directly contradicts what the government is claiming happened. His name was Alex Jeffrey Pretti. He was an ICU nurse at the Minneapolis VA hospital. He was a U.S. citizen. He had a legal permit to carry a firearm. His only criminal record was traffic violations. And according to the Department of Homeland Security, he approached Border Patrol agents with a gun and tried to massacre law enforcement. But multiple videos from the scene tell a completely different story. If you're new here, I'm Jordan Vale, and we're building a community of people who refuse to stand by while democracy is under attack. We need voices like yours in this fight, so hit that subscribe button. This story is still developing, so let's walk carefully through what we know. I'm going to show you both accounts, what the government is saying and what the video evidence shows, and you can see for yourself why this doesn't add up. Let me start with what we know for certain about Alex Pretti. He was 37 years old. He graduated from the University of Minnesota. He worked as an ICU nurse at the Minneapolis Veterans Administration Hospital. He had an active Minnesota nursing license. He was an avid outdoorsman who loved going on adventures with his dog Jewel, a Catahoula leopard who recently died. And according to reports from Click on Detroit, he had participated in protests following the killing of Renee Good by an ICE officer during the federal operation earlier this month. His father, Michael Pretti, told reporters that Alex cared about people deeply and was very upset with what was happening in Minneapolis and throughout the United States with ICE, as millions of other people are upset. The family had talked to Alex about protesting just 2 weeks ago. His father said they told him, "Go ahead and protest, but do not engage, do not do anything stupid." And Alex said he knew that. Now here's how the family found out their son was dead. According to Click on Detroit, the family first learned of the shooting when they were called by an Associated Press reporter. They watched the video that was circulating and said the man killed appeared to be their son. They then tried reaching out to officials in Minnesota. Michael Pretti told reporters, "I can't get any information from anybody. The police, they said, call Border Patrol. Border Patrol's closed. The hospitals won't answer any questions." Eventually, the family called the Hennepin County medical examiner, who confirmed they had a body matching the name and description of their son. That's how they found out. An AP reporter called them. Then they had to call the medical examiner themselves to confirm their son was dead. So what happened this morning? The shooting occurred around 9 a.m. on Nicollet Avenue in South Minneapolis. Border Patrol was conducting what they called a targeted operation. Here's the Department of Homeland Security's official account. According to Time magazine's reporting on the DHS statement, the agency said an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. They shared pictures of the gun with media. The statement said officers attempted to disarm the man, but he violently resisted. Then this. Fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics on scene immediately delivered medical aid to the subject, but was pronounced dead at the scene. And DHS added this line: "This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement." Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino gave additional details. According to his statement, Pretti was armed with a handgun and 2 loaded magazines, had no identification on him, violently resisted when agents tried to disarm him, and what DHS described as an intent to harm law enforcement. That's the official government account. Armed man approaches agents, violently resists, gets shot in self-defense, receives immediate medical aid. Now let me show you what the video evidence shows.
Go. What the people. The fuck is wrong with you? Honestly. Oh my god! 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 The fuck did you just do? The fuck did you just do? Ah! Yes! Liz, somebody call the ambulance! Somebody call the ambulance! Somebody needs to call the ambulance! Somebody call 911!
According to Time magazine's analysis of multiple videos from the scene, they show Pretti filming a group of federal officers with his phone in his right hand, with his left hand empty, resting by his side. An agent then approaches and pushes him backwards. HuffPost reported on a second eyewitness video taken moments before the shooting. It showed Pretti holding a cell phone in his left hand, apparently filming two federal agents, before one agent put his hand into Pretti's chest and pushed him back. The Associated Press described bystander video showing an officer shoving a person wearing a brown jacket who appears to be carrying a water bottle. That person reaches out for a man and the two link up, embracing. The man, wearing a brown jacket and black hat, seems to be holding his phone up toward the officer. The same officer shoves the man in his chest, and the two, still embracing, fall back. From Fox 9's reporting, at least 10 shots were fired by at least one Border Patrol agent while Pretti was on the ground, the video shows. And here's the critical detail from Fox 9. Footage from the shooting does not show him holding a gun. Time magazine reported on the sequence. Video of the shooting shows Border Patrol officers pepper spraying Pretti as he attempts to assist a woman who had been pushed to the ground by an agent. A group of around 7 agents then takes Pretti to the ground as he is disoriented. An eyewitness told Minnesota Public Radio what they saw. Let me read you their account. The gentleman I was standing next to was focused on helping people who were coming into Nicollet Avenue understand that they needed to take it slow and helping them get through. The ICE agents approached us, told us to back up, back up. I'm not even sure why we were helping them, if anything. And I got on the snowbank, and next thing I knew, they shot him. So let's contrast these two accounts. DHS says Pretti approached agents with a gun. Video shows him holding a phone. DHS says he violently resisted. Video shows an agent pushing him first, then pepper spraying him. DHS says medics immediately delivered medical aid, but according to Care 11, Commander Bovino claimed Pretti was immediately delivered medical aid, but video shows agents backing away from him as he lay in the street. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not saying the gun wasn't there. Border Patrol says they recovered a gun from the scene. Pretti had a legal permit to carry. But the video does not show him holding a gun. It shows him holding a phone. And Commander Bovino, according to Fox 9, did not state if Pretti pulled a gun or where the gun was when he was shot. What happened immediately after the shooting tells you a lot about the situation. According to PBS NewsHour, after the shooting, an angry crowd gathered and screamed profanities at federal officers, calling them cowards and telling them to go home. And here's what one Border Patrol agent did in response. PBS NewsHour reported, one officer responded mockingly as he walked away, saying boo-hoo to them. Boo-hoo. A man is lying dead in the street, shot at least 10 times by federal agents. Protesters are screaming, and an agent mocks them with boo-hoo as he walks away. PBS also reported that agents elsewhere shoved a yelling protester into a car. The situation escalated quickly. Federal officers deployed tear gas, flashbangs, stun grenades, and pepper spray. Agents wielded batons. Minneapolis police chief declared an unlawful assembly. Protesters responded by dragging garbage dumpsters to block streets. They chanted, "ICE out now." According to reports, they chanted, "I smell Nazis." Local resident Josh Koski yelled at agents, "They're killing my neighbors." Now, let me show you how government officials in Minnesota responded. Governor Tim Walz posted on X that he had just spoken with the White House after another horrific shooting by federal agents. He said Minnesota has had it. This is sickening. The president must end this operation. Pull the thousands of violent, untrained officers out of Minnesota now. At a press conference, according to CARE 11, Walz said the federal government is waging a campaign of organized brutality against the people of our state. And today, that campaign claimed another life. He called on Trump directly. "Donald Trump, I call on you once again. Remove this force from Minnesota." Waltz also said this about the investigation. "I told the White House the state must lead the investigation. Let state investigators secure justice." Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey told MS Now, "I just saw a video of more than 6 masked agents pummeling one of our constituents and shooting him to death. How many more residents, how many more Americans need to die or get badly hurt for this operation to end?" Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara made a stunning claim. According to CARE 11, he said DHS officials blocked local police from accessing the scene. At a press conference, he said, "We have not been told any official reports of what has led up to the shooting, but we have seen video that is circulating on social media." And here's what's even more concerning. The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, the state investigators, tried to access the scene to investigate. According to CARE 11 and the BCA's own ex-post, the BCA Force Investigations Unit has been requested by Minneapolis police to investigate this morning's federal agent-involved shooting in Minneapolis. Our agents and crime scene personnel attempted to access the location but were blocked by DHS personnel at the scene. State investigators were blocked from the crime scene by federal agents. Now, while this investigation is supposedly ongoing, while the family is still trying to get information, Stephen Miller, Trump's deputy chief of staff, was already labeling Alex Pretti. According to the Boston Globe, in a series of posts, Miller called the man who was killed a domestic terrorist and a would-be assassin and accused Democrats of flaming the flames of insurrection for political reasons. MS Now reported that Miller, in a posting on X, called the victim a domestic terrorist who he claimed tried to assassinate federal law enforcement. Miller made these statements hours after the shooting, before any investigation had resolved anything. That rhetoric fits a broader pattern in Miller's public statements. He has repeatedly labeled protesters and Democrats as domestic terrorists. He's coordinating federal prosecutions under a policy that targets groups with what the administration calls anti-American or anti-capitalist views. So an ICU nurse who cared for veterans is now a domestic terrorist, according to the White House, hours after being killed, based on claims that are contradicted by video evidence. Congressional Democrats from Minnesota responded immediately. Representative Ilhan Omar said, "I am absolutely heartbroken, horrified, and appalled that federal agents murdered another member of our community. This isn't isolated or accidental. The Trump administration is trying to beat us into submission rather than protect us." Senator Amy Klobuchar posted, "Donald Trump and all your lieutenants who ordered this ICE surge, watch the horrific video of the killing today." Representative Angie Craig said, "I have seen with my own eyes the video of another horrific killing by ICE agents this morning in Minneapolis. This is sickening. The agency is beyond out of control. How much more evidence do my Republican colleagues in Minnesota need to speak out?" And Representative Robert Garcia, the top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee, called for ICE to be abolished and for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem to be impeached. According to Second News, he said, "Trump has created a militarized police force accountable only to him and ready to murder people in our streets. These agents need to leave our cities now." Now, I need you to understand the pattern here, because this is the third shooting involving federal agents in Minneapolis in 17 days. January 7th, Renee Good, a 37-year-old mother of 3, shot and killed by ICE officer Jonathan Ross. January 11th, Julio Cesar Sosa Celis shot in the leg by federal agents. January 24th, Alex Pretti shot and killed by a Border Patrol agent. 3 shootings, 17 days, 2 people dead. And the timing of this shooting is critical. This happened one day after the largest strike Minnesota has seen since 1934. Yesterday, Friday, January 23rd, 700 businesses shut down across Minnesota. 50,000 to 100,000 people participated in protests. It was called Ice Out of Minnesota, Day of Truth and Freedom. Thousands marched in minus 25-degree Fahrenheit wind chills. And the very next morning, a Border Patrol agent shoots and kills an ICU nurse on the streets of Minneapolis. The fallout from this shooting is still developing. According to the Associated Press, the Minnesota National Guard, which had been activated earlier by Governor Walz, is assisting local police amid growing protests. Fox 9 reported that the Timberwolves Warriors game scheduled for this afternoon has been postponed following the shooting. And according to the Irish Times, Rachel Sayer, director of the city's emergency management department, compared the current conditions to war zones. She said the ongoing ICE operation has created conditions she had encountered in conflict zones where she worked in Yemen, Haiti, Syria, Iraq, and Ukraine. She said, a powerful entity is violently and intentionally terrorizing people, making them afraid to go outside so they can't earn a living and kids can't go to school. Many of our residents, my neighbors, my friends, are ceasing participation in public life, afraid to even go to the doctor. The city's emergency management director is comparing Minneapolis to Yemen, Syria, and Iraq. So let's put this all together. Alex Pretti was a 37-year-old ICU nurse who took care of veterans. He was a U.S. citizen with no criminal record beyond traffic violations. He had a legal permit to carry a firearm. He participated in protests against ICE violence. This morning, he was on Nicollet Avenue. According to video evidence, he was holding his phone, apparently filming federal agents. An agent pushed him. Officers pepper sprayed him. 7 agents took him to the ground. At least 10 shots were fired while he was on the ground. The Department of Homeland Security claims he approached with a gun, violently resisted, and looked like he wanted to massacre law enforcement. They say medics immediately provided aid. Video shows him holding a phone, not a gun. Video shows agents backing away from him as he lay in the street. State investigators tried to access the crime scene and were blocked by federal agents. And within hours, before any investigation concluded, Stephen Miller labeled him a domestic terrorist. This is the 3rd shooting in 17 days. It happened one day after the largest strike in Minnesota since 1934. And when protesters gathered at the scene, when they screamed at agents about what just happened, a Border Patrol officer mocked them with boo-hoo and walked away. I want to be clear about something. This is a developing story. More information will come out. There may be details that change our understanding of what happened. But right now, what we have is a massive discrepancy between what the government is claiming and what multiple videos from multiple angles appear to show. We have state investigators being blocked from the crime scene. We have the White House labeling the victim before any investigation is complete. We have a pattern of federal violence in Minneapolis that has killed 2 people in 17 days. And we have a family that found out their son was dead because an AP reporter called them, because nobody in the government would give them information. Let me know what you think in the comments. What do you make of the discrepancy between the DHS account and the video evidence? Should state investigators be allowed to access federal crime scenes? And what does it mean that this happened one day after a historic strike? This is a developing story, and I'll be monitoring it throughout the day. If major new information comes out, I'll update you. Share this video. People need to see what's happening in Minneapolis. They need to see the pattern. They need to see the video evidence and compare it to what the government is claiming. We're trying to build something here, a community that pays attention when things like this happen, that demands accountability, that refuses to accept official narratives when the evidence says otherwise. Thanks for spending a few minutes digging into this with me. If you want more grounded, progressive commentary without the outrage bait, subscribe and stick around. Every time you watch, share, and engage, it helps build a community that believes democracy is worth understanding and defending. I'll see you in the next video.